Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and I want to talk to you today about our heavy metal exposure. You know, recently a study showed that 4 billion pounds of chemicals are released into our environment every year. 72 million of them are carcinogenic. I recently had a patient who was complaining of chemical sensitivity, exhaustion, and a host of neurological conditions. And she had her heavy metal levels tested, and she was significantly high in arsenic. Arsenic comes from volcanic rock. It comes from pesticides and preservatives and fungicides in our environment. And it's been shown to be very, very high in rice and in apple juice and a host of other foods. And it seems to be very prevalent in our food supply. Well, she had this test done. She was extremely high, and she was dairy sensitive. So she had switched from dairy products, to rice milk products, to rice protein powders, and she had them tested. Now, the EPA and FDA has set a limit for the amount of arsenic allowed in water, which is 10 parts per billion. She had her rice milk tested, and the organic rice milk was 56 parts per billion. The non-organic rice milk was 111 parts per billion, and her rice protein powder was 24 parts per billion. And remember, we're talking about the EPA allows us only to have 10 parts per billion. Now, this made me really nervous because we actually have a bunch of Ayurvedic cleanses that use khichdi and ghee. Khichdi is kind of a combination of rice and beans. So I immediately had our rice sent out to be tested, and it turned out to be 6 parts per billion, way lower than the 10 parts per billion which the FDA allows, which is, I think, very important. Now, so the point here is that studies show that arsenic seems to be everywhere, and many of us are being overwhelmed, and we don't have great strategies to get rid of it. Mercury, another one, we talked about that many times, how mercury is atmospheric. It comes from the coal mine clouds and that filters down on all the organic vegetables in the soils, in the water, and ends up in fish. I mean, even the FDA had put out a report that women that are pregnant shouldn't eat more than 6 ounces per fish, two servings of 6 ounces of fish per week. We know that mercury exposure can actually block the body's ability or increase the amount of beta amyloid plaque in the brain. It can cause cognitive issues down the road. We have sort of a high level of environmental pollutants and environmental toxins in our environment, which are really significant. And these are fat-soluble chemicals that find their way into your fat and into your brain. 60% of your brain is fat. So this is where we store these things. And you might not feel problems now, but as we age down the road, these chemicals and heavy metals tend to create neurological problems. Like, we have science to suggest that mercury, our atmospheric mercury, is linked to cognitive issues related to beta amyloid plaque down the road. So what do we do about this exposure? I mean, we can say, which I've seen articles written, that you shouldn't detoxify and there's no need to detoxify. I don't even understand how someone could actually say that when you look at the fact that we're dumping 4 billion pounds per year of chemicals in the environment. This makes absolutely no sense to me. We have to become better detoxifiers. And how do you do that? Number one, become a better digester. In the article associated with this video, I give you strategies and link to other articles where I teach you how to do that yourself, which is very important. If you can't digest fatty food well, even hard to digest fatty food well, even though you don't need to eat that or shouldn't eat that, then that directly relates to how well you're processing these fatty chemicals and environmental pollutants. It's very important. All of our cleanses, the short home cleanse, a 4-day kind of, it's called khichdi/ghee detox. Ghee is a fatty acid that is called lipophilic detoxification. So it means that actually the fat in the ghee hooks onto the fat in the chemicals in your cells and pulls them out of your body. And there's good science to back that up. It's pretty cool. So, and that's a free download, 45-page ebook you can download and do that cleanse, super easy, definitely at least twice a year. Think about doing those 4 days just to pull some of that yuck out of your fat cells. We have our big Colorado cleanse, which you can do any time of the year, and that's a whole digestive reset and a detox, which is really powerful. And also, there's oral chelation. You can actually take a pill which has natural chelators, or increase the quantities of these natural chelators that you eat. Chlorella, garlic, cilantro, all of them natural chelators, herbs like shilajit, amino acids like EDTA and alpha lipoic acid and acetylcysteine. All of these have been well documented and proven to pull and chelate heavy metals out of your system. I believe every couple of years, not a bad idea to take a month or two of an oral chelator just to make sure we're not storing a lot of these heavy metals in our deep tissues that can cause problems down the road. If you do an oral chelator, we have one called Chelation Support, always make sure that you supplement along with that a mineral supplement to make sure that as you pull the toxins out, you can sometimes pull some minerals. You want to make sure you replenish that. All of that information of all the strategies that I know have to keep you guys chemical and heavy metal free is in the article associated with this video. So please check that out here at LifeSpa.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Hi, did you like this video? Do you like our content here at LifeSpa? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/John Douillard right here and get this valuable content every week in your inbox.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at lifespa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.